There were two aberrations with the stampede at the Prayag and in Delhi, but on balance, has the Mahakumbh been a Maha success? And did the opposition seem to be acting like vultures, waiting for something to go wrong, almost as if they were willing for something to go wrong so they could attack the government for some flaw in organization? You know, for one leader to call this the Mrityu Kumbh, for someone to say Mahakumbh is faltu, to others saying that this won't solve the problems of India. Did it seem as if the opposition was really looking for some flaw to attack the government with? And is that really in going against the spirit of how a majority of India sees this grand organization? To talk about this, to give us a Trinamool-leaning perspective, I have Tawseef Ahmed Khan from the Bharatiya Janata Party. I have its national spokesperson Sanju Verma. We've got Tehseen Poonawalla joining us in the studio. I have Ghanshyam Tiwari from the Samajwadi Party. I'll kickstart this discussion with Ghanshyam Tiwari, because from Lalu Yadav saying that the Kumbh was faltu, to Mallikarjun Kharge saying that this will not deal with poverty, to Akhilesh Yadav calling this PR activity, money taken out, wasted on the word Kumbh being added. You know, it's almost like some kind of propaganda going on. It just seems as if, on balance, when all these things are taken together, that the opposition was willing and wanting for something to go wrong with the Kumbh so that they could attack the government. Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Good evening, Rahul, to you, the viewers and fellow co-panelists. And let me wish everyone on Mahashivratri, on the eve of Mahashivratri. Let me also ask on this national channel, what is the latest toll that India today thinks is the toll of stampede in Delhi? And what is the latest toll on the stampede of Kumbh itself? Second, what is the compensation that was paid to those who died murderously by the administration in Delhi? Because you called us vultures. You said we were waiting.
I said, I didn't say you were vultures.
Please allow me to
I said
complete.
acting like vultures, waiting and willing for something to go wrong.
Right, I just allow me to complete.
Yes, please.
I saw 21 minutes of a program that said you said it's Maha success. So please tell the viewers, what is the compensation paid to those victims who were murdered by Indian Railways in the stampede in New Delhi, the capital of India, where we celebrated G20? What is the compensation paid to the victims of Kumbh, and what is the number of people who died in Kumbh in that stampede?
Okay, let Sanju Verma. It's not my job to weigh in.
I have not completed my point.
No, you can complete your point. Okay. I will not be entering the debate on favor of one side or against the other. I will be asking the questions, you will be answering them. I'm going to give you 20 more seconds, Ghanshyam. Make your point.
So my point is, the grand answer is, for at least for the victims of Delhi, 10 lakh rupees. The price at which Prime Minister's suit was auctioned. And the point is, when somebody calls us vultures, calls Maha success to Mahakumbh, we neglect the voices that were heard in Parliament that we represent. Final point is that when NGT was talking, the Delhi government, the UP government was tongue-tied in front of NGT about the quality of water at Sangam. The UP Chief Minister on the same day in Assembly was parroting a lie that could not be proven in NGT. This is the reality. Let the viewers decide.
Okay, Sanju Verma, what compensation have those who died in Delhi and at Prayag been given? The National Green Tribunal holding a mirror to the government, talking about how much pollution there is in the water, the level of fecal coliform being at 4,500, the water not being deemed fit for bathing, and the opposition making the point that this is just one PR spectacle. In the long list of television spectacles, one more PR spectacle without looking at the nuts and bolts. The water itself wasn't fit for bathing.
You know, Rahul, let me first make one thing very clear, and let me rub it in for the opposition. You know, hear this again, loud and clear. You know, word-to-word translation in 5 seconds of what Yogi Adityanath said. Vultures found bodies here, pigs found dirt, believers got blessings, bhakts found their God, traders got business, poor got employment, gentle people found kindness, devotees got facilities. So, aapko bura lagta hai? Learn to digest the hard truth. With more than 630 million, as in 63 crore people, as of yesterday having partaken of the Amrit Snan at the Kumbh. This is the world's largest gathering of humanity. Not just the world's largest spiritual gathering, but the world's largest gathering of humanity at one small place on the banks of a small river. So first and foremost, huge amount of applause and kudos to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath for pulling this off brilliantly. Yes, my heart goes out to the people who died in the fire at the Kumbh and at the New Delhi railway station stampede. But having said that, I will not allow anybody from the opposition to take away from the fact that this was a brilliantly organized event. And let's make one thing very clear. जो आज यहाँ बैठकर कह रहे हैं, अरे bacterial levels are very high, गंगा में स्नान करने से pollution इतना ज्यादा है, आप बीमार हो जाएंगे. अरे भाई साहब, किसी ने आज तक जाना है क्या कि मरने के बाद आप जब जन्नत जाते हो आपको वहां पर 72 हूरें मिलती हैं या नहीं? Has anyone ever confirmed? You worship a religion which worships flying camels and flying horses.
Okay. Okay.
You worship a religion. No, please now allow me 20 seconds. I heard the Samajwadi Party. Don't, take away from my time. Have we ever questioned, a religion which says that, Mother Teresa ought to be canonized? We never question anybody's faith because faith is something that cannot be bracketed into black and white or even gray. And I think...
Sanjuji, you've made your point. Now let me get in another word. Do you think, Tehseen Poonawalla, that Congress leaders missed a trick by not going to the Kumbh for a Shahi Snan, for an Amrit Snan? Because ultimately, it's quite clear that about half of India's population, even if those figures are slightly exaggerated, a large part of India's population felt very strongly for the Kumbh. By constantly trying to find fault and by, staying away from the Kumbh, are they sending a wrong message at a time when so many are feeling so emotional and passionate about taking a dip at the holy waters?
Rahul, good evening. Thank you for having me to show at the onset. A very happy Mahashivratri to all your viewers in advance and to you and to your family in advance. There are two issues roughly out here. I'll come to the political one later. Let me just ask one thing. The nuts of the debate is, should the opposition have been so critical of what is definitely the greatest event in the world? No, maybe the choice of words could have been different. I do agree and concede to that. But there were our fellow citizens who lost their lives.
Sure.
When the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh said pigs found dirt, is he referring to the Environment Ministry headed by Shri Bhupendra Yadav ji? Because it is their report that said this is water that you have that is not tenable even for bread. When he saw vultures found dead, is he saying that the Railway Ministry and the other officers who are helping the dead out there, our fellow citizens, were vultures out there? Is he calling Ravi Shankar Prasad ji a vulture, who in the parliament got up and said that this was perhaps an international conspiracy, if not a national conspiracy, to destabilize the Mahakumbh? Now may I ask you, the parliament is the most serious body in our country. When a former union minister and a very senior member of parliament gets up and says there is a conspiracy to destabilize the Kumbh, it's been about 15 days since that statement is made. Has there been any investigation except by a retired judge? Is this the gravitas with which we do an investigation in an international conspiracy? Who is trying to do politics over this? The 2019 CAG report of the Kumbh, I had the honor of going to the Kumbh, said that the drone cameras were not functioning. It would lead to a stampede at some point. Had we looked at it in 2019 and not gotten the emotional card, maybe we wouldn't have lost.
No, but the fact is, Tawseef Khan, that when about 50, the government is saying 63 crore people came. I'm saying let's discount that figure by a bit, but a large number of people still went in the high crores. Now, when those many people gather, and it's the world's largest gathering, unfortunate as it might be, something is likely to go wrong. And the fact is, when it goes wrong, it almost seems as if the opposition gets excited and say, hey, dekho, mar gaye. It's almost as if they're willing and waiting for something to go wrong. Yes, it's terribly unfortunate what happened, but it's all, which is why the vulture analogy, you're almost wanting that there be some carcass you can pray over.
Rahul, the vulture analogy or the pig analogy is an attempt by the Uttar Pradesh government or the Uttar Pradesh chief minister to hide, to not face or own up to the failure to perform in this auspicious occasion and hide behind the religion. Now, the report that was presented to the National Green Tribunal by the Control Board, that does not attack the Astha, that does not question the divinity, that does not question the divine nature of the Sangam water. That questions the responsibility of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister to ensure that the untreated sewerage water does not mix with the Ganga water. especially at this time. At the time when half the population of the country is excited to take a holy dip in Ganga on this auspicious occasion of Mahakumbh, the responsibility to ensure that it remains free from untreated sewage water is even higher. And the accountability has to be taken by the Chief Minister when he is taking the credit that I have arranged so many people to come. He is not the inventor of Hindu religion. He is not the inventor of Mahakumbh. It is the Astha of the people. It is the religious belief of the people.
Let Sanju Verma respond to this. The 8-page submission before the principal bench of the National Green Tribunal on the 17th of February talks about an extremely high level of fecal coliform which makes the water at the Triveni Sangam, according to the control board itself, unsafe for bathing. Now, this is on the watch of your government, and the opposition is saying you're calling people to bathe, you can't even provide clean water. Sanju Verma.
You know, Rahul, I always say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You know, let's be very honest. Assuming 63 crore people have taken part in the Mahakumbh and have, partaken of the Amrit Snan. 1% of 63 crore, matlab at least by now 63 lakh people should have complained about some form of ill health, diarrhea or fever or pneumonia or indigestion, so on and so forth. एक भी इंसान ने बीमारी का जिक्र तक नहीं किया है. यहाँ बैठकर हिंदू आस्था पर सवाल खड़े करते हो. Your religion teaches you that 30 people can eat from the same plate without washing their hands.
And you
said
which
that,
report questions Hindu Astha against falsehood?
That leads to bonding. I did not heckle you. Keep quiet now. 30 लोग.
No, you are lying, Sanju. You are lying.
Okay, one at a time. Let Sanju complete. Tausif, I'll come to you in a moment.
Yes. This man has a habit of getting rattled. Which religion says 30 लोग एक ही थाली में से बिना हाथ धोए वहां पर एक साथ खाना खा सकते हैं? I wouldn't be able to do it, but I will not question somebody's faith. So let me make one thing very clear. As Swami said, गंगा विष्णु के चरणों से, शिव जी के मस्तक से और ब्रह्मा के कमल से निकली हुई है. गंगा के स्नान से तो नहीं, सिर्फ गंगा के स्मरण से, गंगा के सिर्फ स्पर्श से, गंगा के सिर्फ तट पर जाने से भी आप मोक्ष प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. I think
Ghanshyam Tiwari, respond to this point, because ultimately it's about Astha, it's about belief. For the crores who went, the water was clean, they had a bath. I've spoken to so many people as they were bathing, coming out, they felt divine. That's what matters. It is a question of faith. This is religion. This is not about what the Ganga makes you feel. They went into that water, they felt cleansed, and that's what matters most, Ghanshyam.
Well, Rahul, the famous Ganga ka beta said, Ganga saaf karenge. Namami Ganga should be shut down because now, as per Sanju Verma, Ganga Astha se hi saaf ho gayi hai. So Namami Ganga should be shut down. It should be announced. Point number 1. Point number 2, she said 63 crore. Yogi Adityanath says 63 crore. You are wanting to discount it a little bit. The census says that in India, the number of children under the age of 14 is 14 crores, 42 crores. The number of elderly is 14 crores. So we are saying that of the 80 crore who are between 14 and 65, 63 crore have visited Kumbh. There's a limit to the stupidity that BJP can expect people to believe in. How can we sit and believe a government who's parroting these numbers simply to dumb us down and say that, see, 63 crore people visited, so it is okay to not know what was the compensation paid to the people who were murdered by their mismanagement. It is okay to not know how many people died in the stampede. It is okay for this government to shower petals when dead body is still not counted on that very day, few hours. It is okay. India Today and every media channel showed those images. What kind of Sanatan are they following where they are showering petals when dead bodies are still not
No, one second. Before
let us not get dumbed down.
Sanju responds, I'm going to let Tehseen make a counter as well, and then Sanju can respond. Yes.
Look, this idea
Because the first time I asked you the question, you dodged the question that I asked. My question was, do you think opposition leaders, in particular leaders from the Congress, the Gandhi family, should have gone? Have they made a mistake by not connecting with this big spiritual and religious movement, by wanting to stay away? It's almost as if they're telling all these crores, whether it's 63 crores, 50 crores, doesn't matter, but they're crores, and you're telling these people, we don't feel like you, we don't care for what you feel, and we don't want to be part of you.
I do think religion is a personal matter, but if you were to ask me a political question, then the political answer to that is Prayagraj is elected a Congress member of Parliament.
Sure. Which is even more reason to go.
It is Nehruji's Karma Bhumi. So I would have, if I was leading the Congress party, I would have been there. That's my answer, but I'm not doing that. The answer to the accusations that the BJP is doing, that deflects from what has happened. We've had real lives that have been lost, both at the railway station and at Prayagraj. We don't have the numbers. The response was terrible. I saw the India Today reports, and your reporters continuously bought stories. They were underreported. Showers were better. Railways were bullying people to take down the tweets that showed the bodies that were dead in the stampede. This is not how a government behaves. I understand that an accident happened. Very unfortunate. A mature government takes its people.
No, but let's Sanju, this is an important point.
One last point. No, I would have expected my Prime Minister, he's my Prime Minister, to at least have empathy for those families. Not just give compensation.
No, Sanju, listen to my question and then respond. So while the opposition was willing and wanting for someone to go wrong and trying to say, oh, mar gaye, the government was, on the contrary, seeming as if they wanted to pretend as if nothing went wrong. For hours, they didn't even accept that people had died. Even after the Prime Minister had condoled the deaths, the Chief Minister and the UP government wasn't accepting that something had gone wrong. So it's almost as if this was the complete opposite reaction. They wanted things to go wrong. You didn't want to accept that things had gone wrong. Both seem to be living in alternate realities. Sanju Verma.
You know, Rahul, you've asked me such a lengthy question, which is simply not your style. And you are always very pointed. But today you're trying to monkey balance.
No, I'm not monkey balancing. I'm asking you a straight question.
Yes. Now, if you're asking me a straight question, have the patience to listen to my straight answer, because I'm not into the habit of shoving uncomfortable truths under the carpet. First and foremost, I agree with Tehseen. Religion is a very personal issue, and faith, Asta, is a very personal thing. You know, you cannot question it, and if you do so, it is at your own peril. Having said that, you know, I completely rebut this preposterous charge and allegation that Prime Minister Modi and Yogi Adityanath, you know, wo apni hi dunya mein mast the. You know, nobody was bothered about, you know, the dead bodies that piled up due to the fire or due to the stampede at the New Delhi railway station. No. The entire administrative machinery, including Rapid Action Force, including, you know, ITBP police personnel, including the CRPF, everybody swung into action and the damage was contained. Point number one. Point number two, I agree that, you know, by giving 10 lakhs compensation, you cannot bring back somebody who's lost their kith and kin. But at the same time, compensation is something which is mandated by law. Especially in these kind of unfortunate incidents, more will happen. And I always say, let accountability prevail, and I'm sure heads will roll. Point number 3 to Ghanshyam. You made some, you know, you think, you know numbers. Now, I will call out your bluff on Rahul Kanwal show. What is the population of India? 143 crore on last count. What is the adult population of India? 98 crore, which means 68.53% of India's population are adults. Now, how many people have visited the Kumbh? 63 crore people, which means 67.74% of India's adult population visited the Kumbh. Why is that so difficult to believe?
Okay.
If 67.7% of India's adult population visited the Kumbh, how is it that you're saying this is not mathematically possible? I'm doubtful about
Ghanshyam Tiwari, very quickly, because I also want to move the needle, but I'm going to give you 20 seconds to respond.
Well, I'll just lay out the maths for your viewers to know. The 2011 census said that number of children under age of 14 was 37 crore.
You
the
talk
data
about
that she's quoting. Wait a second, please. Wait a second. By now that number will be 44 crore. The number of elderly is 15 crore. Now you are saying
there's been no census in 2011, so he has no data from the last couple of years to talk about. But let him make his point. Ghanshyam.
So of the 80 crore people who are between 14 and 65, BJP is saying 63 crore have visited or 60 crore have visited. Look around you, which is they are saying that 4 out of 5 adults in India who can travel have visited Kumbh. Why are they saying this?
No, but why are you discounting young people and old people from that figure? Anyway, this debate will get on a tangent. Why discount old people? A lot of old people went, a lot of young kids. But anyway, that's not the point
Why
here.
are they lying?
No.
My point is, why are
Tausif
they
Khan,
lying? Because they want to dumb you down to tell you that the numbers of people who died in the stampede is minuscule compared to this mega success that they
But
have
even the point that you're making is not mathematically valid, because you've left out as a
But
set
I'm
of
not the government.
as
They
a
are
set
lying. I'm
of the
not lying.
population, you've left out all young people and old
I'm not
people.
lying. I'm not
Both
claiming
categories
any
of
number.
people
It is-
went, and therefore that's not the right way to do
It
these
is the
numbers.
government that
But
is
that's a
claiming
different
the
matter.
number.
I don't want to get derailed. No, one second.
I'm not
Tausif
claiming
Khan,
any number.
the
It is
fact
them
is
who
that
are
many
claiming the
opposition leaders chose not to go and bathe at the Mahakumbh. Yes, of course, religion is a private matter, but when you're seeking votes, is that a message as well to minority vote banks that dekho, despite all these people going, we didn't go because we don't feel strongly enough and therefore we didn't feel the need to go? Is there a double messaging happening there, Tausif Khan?
No, Rahul. You see, if you're referring to Bengal, election is far away in Bengal. More than 1 year later, the election will happen. You see, if I rely on the government data itself, that 63 crore people went to Mahakumbh, and we have on record multiple occasions stampede took place in Prayagraj, including stampede in railway station, and multiple times fire caught intent. So can we accept that only 30 people died? That is what we are criticizing, that you are showing disrespect. It is one thing that in an unfortunate incident, devotees are dying, but it is equally disrespectful and insulting to the dead bodies when you do not count them.
No, sure.
At least
No,
show
so I
them
agree
some
with this.
respect.
The fact
Own
that
up to the
everyone
numbers.
should be transparent with data, the number of people who went, the number of people who died, the number of people who bathed, all of it should be transparent. So what I want to do, I want to thank all our guests for joining us. Thank you for taking our time.
Thank you so much.